Thought it was a good day today. Excited to get the fans out there tomorrow, right? That'll be fun and exciting for our fans to be out there with the players and bring a little bit more juice. That will be good. In terms of you guys, right? I see that you guys got shade now in the bleachers, right? I mean, this is pretty amazing now. You need to thank George, Kevin, when you see them, right, and then Ryan, right? That was them getting it done. And what I'm gonna do, next thing I'm gonna bring lemonade out there for y'all. So I think you guys will be all set up. But I thought today was good, really did. A lot of good situations, we finally got into our third downs so we can operate. The way we have practice set up, I think, is really conducive to learning, with the walkthroughs going in there before, going good on that, moving the ball down the field. That's a real operation, and I see that operation getting better every single day. You can see that out there. The pre-snap penalties are down, getting in and out of the huddle is good. And that's just because, we're learning the system, learning how to do it, and we're learning how to break the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, and operate our motions and shifts and make our calls. And I think it's really been good. And Caleb is the apex of that. He's just got to keep getting better at it and keep progressing every single day. And I talked to the team about this, to be able to go through the process of you're going through those walkthroughs at night. Right, and then you come back and you got to walk through in the morning, and those got to be perfect. They're slow. It's easy, right? Looks might be challenging sometimes with defense, but we should have some really good perfect reps. And that's everybody. If that's Caleb, carrying out his fakes or whatever that might be, his footwork, ball handling, going through his reads, all that. That's got to be done really well in the walkthrough. And then you go to the drill work. The drill work is meant to be game speed. And why do we do that? We don't just go through drills half speed because we have to hone the fundamentals at game speed, right? Then you get your 7-on-7 team drills. Those are all going at game speed for the most part until the end. And then that's, really game performance. That's how you do it. And you rinse and repeat and do it over and over again. So we're working with our young guys on that. I know the old guys understand that, the vets understand that, but really young guys got to go through that process. And it takes mental strength to be able to do that every single day, every rep, right? Because you're out there, we get a bunch of reps in, and that's the process we're going through right now. So with that, all questions.
Matt, does what Caleb does in practice, does that affect how much he plays in the preseason? Is that fluid? In other words, if he shows a certain level of readiness that he might play more or less or whatever?
No, I don't think that's tied together at all. I just think that we're going to have a plan in place. And of course, like I said, the line that's in front of him is important, and that will definitely dictate what's going on. But we have a plan in place of what we're going to do.
What did you see from Caleb in those last two periods where it looked like you guys were working 2-minute drills and field goal, and was the very last one just last play got to get it in the end zone? Or?
Yeah. So it was the very last play, 4 seconds, and you're just from a distance, then another distance, and then the first one was 2-minute. Yeah, it was a 2-minute into game, need field goal.
So what did you see from Caleb during those?
Good. Operation was good. Made the 4th down. We had to go for it on 4th down. We made that. We still had plenty of time. And again, you're on a time constraint right now with these first 4 practices. We got to be under the 2-hour mark here, so that's why we cut it short and sent Cairo out there.
After the 4th and 3, you guys had Cairo kicking field goals. Was that a process thing? Why not keep the drive going after that? Were they out of time or?
Yeah, that's what I just stated. Yeah. So we were close to the time, and I had to get him off the field.
We talked about the benefit of adding veteran players who are good on the field, help Caleb. But the fact that some of them are tacticians and can work with him off the field. Caleb told a story about sitting at the hotel, with Keenan Allen during, in April and May, or I guess in May, learning the playbook. What's the benefit off the field of those guys, especially the ones who are known for being so precise at what they do, huddling with him and helping him get into this offense?
Yeah, that's actually part of the process I talked about, in the beginning. That's before the walkthrough, right? So spending time together, that's relational, right? Get to know each other better, feed off each other, and quiz each other, and making sure that you're all on the same page in terms of the concept, the idea, the coverage contour. Does that change what we're doing? And making sure we're doing that.
Coach, I know it's early, no pads yet, but is there a time ideally that you would like to have that center position kind of settled so that Caleb can get the chemistry he needs with whoever's going to be there?
Yeah, I think you just let it go through. You let it go through the process. I told the guys today, you make the team or you make your position in pads, right? Those are the things that we evaluate. It's hard to evaluate, guys when we're out here and not in pads. The pass protection's hard, the pass rush is hard to really evaluate if a guy really can bore around the corner or if he really can protect, against the bull rush, because we put limits on the guys a little bit, what they can and cannot do, so we don't have injury. When we're in shells like that. So you have to, because everybody's got to stay on their feet. But once we get pads on, they got to stay on their feet. But then they're able to bowl and do different things, and O-line can do their snatch and all that stuff. So it's something that's very detailed out, and it's really because of injury. But to answer your question, we're going to let that play out.
Do you have updates on Noah Sewell and Simba Webster and what that's?
Yeah, they'll be day to day. It's nothing major, and they'll be back. It's kind of like a little bit like TJ and those guys were. We'll see how it goes, and we'll do what we always do. We'll start putting them in individual, and then we'll ramp up the reps and all that, and go from there.
Sorry, we saw DeMarcus Walker kick inside in the 2-minute drill. How does that benefit the pass rush in those situations? Having it stuff.
Yeah, I think it's always good. He's an effective guy in there, and he can go in and go out. So when you have that versatility, you can match him up on different people. Some guys you can't do that. Some guys aren't very good when they go in there, and you can't match them up, which is always good if you get a long player in there, like a Dexter, against a guard or a center. That's always a good matchup.
How's the cadence issue with Caleb right now?
Good. Yeah, it came back way better, and in terms of just the operation of it, and it's improving every day.
You feel resolved, that's resolved. You guys have a game next week, obviously, where you.
Well, I mean, you're always going to enhance your cadence and change the cadence. So, we have to go through the process of that. You got to use different cadences, and you got to use it as a weapon, and that takes time. And we're going through the process right now. We're not even close to being through that process yet.
Coach, the conversation around Caleb Williams at OTAs and at minicamp was that he was very much ahead of schedule. He came back very prepared. Do you feel like he's done that at training camp? Do you feel like he's ahead of schedule, right on schedule? Where's he at right now?
Well, as you go through training camp, what you do is you put a lot of things in, right? And you're trying to put the whole offense in, and we're also installing the whole defense. So he's going to get the whole gamut of looks. So there's going to be an ebb and flow to this. There's going to be an ebb and flow. I don't think the bell curve, it's not like just this the whole time, right? It's going to be a little step and then go down and then go up. He's going to have some hard days, and that's by design, right? And just by happenstance, it's going to happen. We're going to give him some looks that are going to be hard for him, and then he's going to learn from those, and then he's going to grow and then go to the next step. So that's him learning the game up here, learning the speed, learning how the windows close faster. And when he does that, he's just going to keep growing and learning. And that's just not during training camps. That's going to be the first game all the way to the last game. He's got to keep stacking them up and keep learning.
Matt, you seem much more. You seem.
With the notable additions of someone like Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, what has the process been for you for instilling your hits principle, also this the team philosophy, into people who are new to this organization?
Yeah, so we go through it every time. We go through it every time with the players, with the coaches. We start over from the beginning because we know we have turnover and they have to understand how we operate. What's really cool, though, is that the guys that were here for 3 years, 2 years, last year, they understand and they can help coach those guys in. It's a faster process than what it was before because we have the in-house players now.
Matt, you seem much more comfortable in talking to us as reporters and doing your press conferences. And I know you've spoken a little bit about that, but I'm curious, what work did you specifically do to get more comfortable and more composed out there speaking to us?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's time on task. It's time on task. I think how many times we do it during a week? 4 times, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's a long season, right? So I think we gotta get used to each other a little bit and get more comfortable with it. And it's just more at ease because time on task.
Matt, are you gonna let Owens go to Paris?
Owens go to Paris. Yes.
When does he leave? When's he gonna come back?
Yeah, I don't know. You're testing my memory now. I mean, I have it in there somewhere, but it ain't on top. It's back there.
Why did that get the thumbs up from the organization?
Oh, just because we respect the Olympics. I mean, that is a big deal, and he's just supporting, the one he loves the most. And I think that's so cool that he gets to do that, and we welcome that, and it's gonna be awesome. And we want to go USA.
Matt, when you have a team period like you did where Montez kind of blows everything up a couple times in a row and Caleb doesn't have a lot of time, what do you guys as a staff take away from what is essentially like 5 broken plays in a row with him?
Yeah, like I said, it's very hard to evaluate pass rush, pass protection right now. So it's a little bit advantage to the D-line. I don't know what percentage that would be, but that's why we're going, when we're practicing, we're going to do pads. We get 2 pads in a row once we start going here. And it's pretty much the flow of the whole training camp unless I adjust it, which I have the right to do. But I would say that we'll get to evaluate those guys during that time.
In terms of Caleb, like what do you evaluate him during those?
Well, when you break the play, it's been a scramble drill. So and we're working the scramble drill on the coverage part and the receiving part. So it's we can always work on that.
Matt,
Would you more-
when you look back at Jalen's season last year, what do you think was the key to the uptick in interceptions? That might have been different, just like was it potential positioning, where he was in 2022 to why those didn't happen then to why they happened last year?
Well, I don't know if this has been said before. He's got the best corner coach in the league. I'm telling you, John Hoke is the best. Peanut Tillman's coach. I mean, you could start naming the names, and this guy can coach. So that's probably a big part of it. But Jalen also worked at it. He saw he needed to get better at something. He knew that the best corners in the league take the ball away, and he worked at it. He was on the jugs. He was working the catch points with his coach, working the distracted throws with his coach. Working busted triangle, in the catch point. I mean, he worked all those things that you do as a DB coach and a DB, and he got better at it. So he just put his attention to it, his focus to it, and it happened.
At this point in the summer, what's the operation like between you and Coach Washington?
Great, it's great. Yep. So I meet with those guys. I have a good flow right now because I meet with the offense, meet with the defense. I'm in the quarterback room, I'm in the defensive room, meeting with the coordinators. We got a really good flow to this, and it's about equal.
Like during practice, is he calling? Are you calling?
He calls it during practice. Yep. He scripts it, and I look at it. If it's I want to change something, I do, and if I want to change it on the field, I do too. But he's doing it.
Thanks, Matt.